Rachel, you remember your old college fund? Mom gave it all to me. For the restaurant.
He can't be serious. My entire college fund, gone.
Oh, Rachel. You landed fine anyway. You've got your little job and loans. It's not a tragedy.
The silence that followed was a blade. Rachel felt her throat tighten as the weight of the betrayal settled over the table.
I think I need to go.
She walked out without waiting for a response, her footsteps echoing in the silent hallway of the Vance home. At her apartment, she stood in the dark, the weight of $40,000 in loans pressing on her chest.
How could Mom do this? All those years she let me struggle.
She opened her laptop and pulled up her student loan balance. The number burned $40,087.
Grandpa started that fund. He made sure it was for me. I have to know what happened.
Staring at her grandfather's photo, she remembered him saying at the bank, "This is for your education, Rachel." She dragged a storage box from the closet, full of his old papers.
He documented everything. If Mom messed up, there's proof.
After minutes, she found a statement from Oakwood Trust Company. Her name was typed below beneficiary. She opened her laptop and searched Oakwood. The company managed education funds for families.
They'll have the original documents. I just need an appointment.
The next morning, she called Oakwood and explained about Charles Vance.
When can I meet with Mrs. Cross? It's urgent. My education trust may have been violated.
The assistant offered Tuesday morning at 10. Rachel wrote it on a notepad with steady hands.
4 days. I can wait. I've been waiting years.
Evelyn Cross gestured for Rachel to sit. Behind her, shelves of leather-bound ledgers stood like witnesses to decades of family secrets.
This woman holds the proof. Finally, someone who can tell me the truth.
Thank you for coming, Miss Vance. Your grandfather's trust is remarkably clear. I pulled the original document.
Evelyn opened the folder and slid the document across the desk. The title read, Irrevocable Education Trust. Rachel Louise Vance, sole beneficiary.
Sole beneficiary. Mom said it was a family fund she managed. She lied.
Your mother, Barbara, was named administrator, not owner. The trust states the money is yours and cannot be redirected.
So she had no legal right to take a single dollar.
None. The trust is irrevocable. Your grandfather made sure no one could change it.
She committed a crime. This isn't a family argument. It's theft.
Rachel stared at her name on the old paper. The betrayal was documented. Now she had to decide what to do. Evelyn reached into the file once more and withdrew a worn envelope, its edges yellowed.
Mr. Vance left this. He insisted it stay with the trust for you, unopened until now.
Rachel took the envelope. Her name was written in her grandfather's careful cursive. She opened it and read, "This is Rachel's, no matter who asks. If it is ever moved, demand it back."
He knew. Even then, he knew someone might try to steal it.
The paper trembled. A tear slipped onto the ink, blurring the words, "No matter who asks."
Your grandfather was thorough. That letter is legally binding instruction for the trustees.
It's not just a letter. It's a shield he left for me from across the grave. I'll get the money back. Every cent. For him.
She folded the letter with reverence. For the first time, she wasn't alone in this fight.
How did she get the money out? An irrevocable trust shouldn't be easy to breach.
Evelyn opened a separate folder and slid a withdrawal slip across the desk. It bore only Barbara's signature.
She presented herself as the full trustee to a junior bank officer. No one asked for the trust document.
They just handed over $60,000 without checking. That's gross negligence.
The bank had a fiduciary duty. They failed. That makes them liable for the misdisbursement.
What can we do? Is there a way to force them to return it?
We issue a formal demand for restitution against both your mother and the bank. I can recommend a trust litigation attorney.
Rachel took the card. The name felt like a weapon she never knew she had.
Mom thinks I'll never fight back. She has no idea what's coming.
At home that evening, She sat at her laptop and began researching the attorney's firm. The fight was no longer a question. By 9 the next morning, she sat in the waiting area of Hartley and Associates, the trust file heavy in her lap. The attorney scanned the withdrawal slip. His expression hardened as he called it a textbook breach.
I want it sent to both my mother and the bank. I don't care if she screams at me.
3 days later, the certified envelope arrived at Barbara's doorstep while she was having morning coffee. The words "demand for restitution" hit her like a physical blow. Her hand trembled.
What is this? You are suing me for money you never even needed?
I needed it, Mom. I have 40,000 in debt. You gave it all to Michael.
You landed fine anyway. You were just being greedy.
The letter is clear. Pay back what you stole.
She set the phone down. The silence afterward was not hollow. It was the sound of a boundary. The next evening, Michael stood alone in his dark restaurant. The grease-stained floor seemed to mock every promise he ever made. An hour later, pounding shook Rachel's apartment door. She opened it to find Michael, eyes red and hands shaking.
Rachel, please. You can't destroy the family over this. I'll pay you back every cent, I swear.
Promises, without collateral. Just like always, you took $60,000 and gambled it on a restaurant. How exactly are you going to pay me back?
It was supposed to be a sure thing. Mom said you'd understand. She said it was family money.
Mom never asked me. She handed you my future and called it fine. I am done being the silent daughter.
Michael reached for her hand, but she pulled back as if his touch would burn. The plea died in his throat.
Get a lawyer, Michael. This isn't a family conversation anymore.
She closed the door and leaned against it. Her heart raced, but her mind felt sharper than it had in years. A week later, Evelyn called Rachel to her office. On the desk lay a letter from Oakstone Bank, admitting a junior officer's error.
The bank acknowledges fault but offers only $30,000. They want you to release all further claims.
30,000 would wipe out most of the debt. I could be done with this. If I take this, can I still go after my mother for the rest?
Rachel unfolded her grandfather's letter. The words "demand it back" had guided her to this moment.
He didn't ask me to settle. He told me to fight. Number. They can't buy my silence for half. We demand full restitution plus interest.
Your grandfather would be proud. I'll instruct the attorney to counter with the full 60,000.
This isn't about the money anymore. It's about the principle.
Evelyn filed the counter-demand that afternoon. Rachel left the office feeling the ground shift beneath her. 2 days later, a process server handed Barbara another envelope. This time it was a formal complaint, not a demand. Barbara tore it open. The heading "Complaint for Conversion" hit her like a verdict already written.
Rachel, how dare you? You are dragging your own mother to court over a legal technicality. After all I sacrificed for you, you were never an easy child, and this is your thanks?
You stole $60,000 from a trust that wasn't yours. That's not sacrifice. It's felony theft. She's throwing everything at me, but it's just air. She knows she's trapped.
Barbara slammed the phone down. She stared at Rachel's childhood photos, but the smiling faces only burned. Rachel's phone buzzed with a text from Evelyn. Bank agreed to full settlement, 60,000 plus interest.
It's real. The money is coming back. Grandpa, I am keeping my promise.
She set the phone down and touched the letter. The words "demand it back" had finally been honored. Late that night, Rachel sat in the dim glow of a floor lamp, the letter open on her lap for the 10th time. She read her grandfather's words again, but this time they didn't sting. They fortified.
He saw the whole thing before I was even in college. He knew they'd try. All this guilt I felt for fighting back. It was a lie they planted.
She traced the ink with her finger. The letters "no matter who asks" had become a creed. On the shelf, the photo of Charles seemed to watch her. His smile wasn't sad. It was certain.
You didn't just leave me money. You left me a fight I could win.
She folded the letter with a new gentleness, not grief, but gratitude.
Tomorrow, I sign the final settlement. Then the loans disappear. Then I am free.
She turned off the lamp. In the dark, she felt her grandfather's hand on her shoulder, lighter than air. The mediation room was sterile, a long table, 4 leather chairs, and fluorescent lights that erased shadows.
She won't even look at me. The guilt is real, but so is the debt I carried.
I never meant for anyone to get hurt. It was supposed to be a short-term loan.
A loan that lasted 13 years. I want a repayment plan in writing, or we continue to court.
Barbara's attorney slid a repayment agreement across the table. Her hand trembled as she signed, each stroke a surrender.
I have nothing left. The restaurant's gone. My credit's ruined. I am filing for bankruptcy.
His confession emptied him. The golden sun had fallen harder than anyone.
This isn't my doing. I am just asking for what was taken.
By the end of the day, the bank's final settlement arrived. $60,000 would be wired within 10 days.
It's done. The trust is whole again. Now I can finally breathe.
10 days later, on an ordinary Thursday morning, Rachel's phone buzzed with a wire confirmation from Oakstone Bank.
$60,427. It actually happened.
She opened her laptop and pulled up the student loan portal. The balance stared back, $40,087.
13 years I've carried this number. Not one more day.
She selected the entire balance, hesitated only a heartbeat, and clicked Submit Payment. The screen refreshed, and the tormenting digits vanished. In their place appeared a single, beautiful 0.
I am free. No lender. No collector. It's over.
She closed the laptop and sat motionless. The apartment felt quieter than it had in years.
Thank you, Grandpa. Your letter did exactly what you promised.
She reached for the old letter and held it against her chest. Its ink had long dried, but its promise was fully alive. A week later, Rachel stood before the administration building, a check for $20,000 folded in her pocket.
This isn't just a donation. It's a message to everyone who thought the money was ever theirs.
Inside the development office, the foundation director listened as Rachel laid out the terms of the Charles Vance Memorial Scholarship.
He always said education was the one thing nobody could take from you. This scholarship makes sure he gives it back.
She signed the agreement with steady strokes. The scholarship would award $2,000 annually to a student in financial need. 6 weeks later, a small gathering assembled in the library's reading room to unveil a polished wooden plaque.
My grandfather, Charles Vance, wrote a letter that changed my life. This scholarship is my reply. Thank you, Grandpa.
Her hand rested on the brass plate. The name, Charles Vance, gleamed under the soft lights.
He's not forgotten. Every student who receives this will know his name.
As the applause settled, she touched the letter in her pocket. The circle had closed, but its arc would reach farther than she ever imagined. 2 days after the scholarship ceremony, Barbara sat at her kitchen table with a thin ledger and a blank check.
$300 every month for years. This is what she reduced me to.
She sealed the envelope with a dry tongue and pushed it toward the door. Each payment was a debt she couldn't talk away. Across town, Michael stood in the courthouse corridor, waiting for his bankruptcy hearing. His suit was borrowed, his eyes hollow.
I was the golden son. Now I am just another case number.
The judge confirmed his Chapter 7 filing in under 7 minutes. His debts were wiped, but so was his pride. Rachel received the first installment notification on a quiet afternoon. The trust account registered a deposit of $300 from Barbara Vance.
It's not vengeance. It's accounting. She took. She repays.
She filed the notice in a folder and closed it. The legal machine was doing its work, silently and without mercy.
I didn't break the family. The truth just exposed what was already broken.
A month after the first repayment, Barbara called not to argue, but to ask if they could meet. Rachel chose a busy cafe on neutral ground.
I did what I thought was best for the family. Maybe I was wrong about the money.
That's not an apology, Mom. It's a justification with a question mark.
I am trying, Rachel. I am sending the payments. What more do you want?
I want to know that you see me, not as an obligation, not as a threat.
I do see you. I just don't know how to fix what's broken.
You can't fix it. You can only stop breaking things. The payments are a start.
Barbara nodded slowly, the motion more concession than agreement. She didn't reach for Rachel's hand.
This is as close as she'll ever get. It has to be enough.
She walked without looking back. The afternoon sun was warm, and the weight she had carried since that dinner began to lift. That evening, Rachel drove to a small frame shop she had passed countless times, but never entered.
It's not just paper. It's the proof he believed in me when no one else did.
She chose an oak frame, its grain as simple as her grandfather's handwriting, and carried it home. On her kitchen table, she laid the letter flat and aligned the mat with a precision that felt sacred. She pressed the glass gently into place, her own face reflected over the faded ink. She mounted a hook on the wall directly across from the chair where she sat each morning.
Every day, I'll see it. Every day, I'll remember he fought for me before I could.
She stepped back. The framed letter hung still, its words now part of the architecture of her life.
He didn't just protect me. He taught me how to protect myself.
The room felt different now, not merely decorated, but defended. The following Sunday, Rachel drove to the old cemetery where her grandfather rested. The scholarship announcement and a single white rose on the passenger seat. She knelt on the damp grass beside the headstone, her knees sinking into the earth that held him.
I did what you asked, Grandpa. I demanded it back. Every cent. The bank paid the full $60,000. I paid off the loans, and I started a scholarship in your name.
She laid the announcement on the stone, pinning it with the white rose. The paper rustled in the breeze.
You were the only one who ever saw me, not as a burden or a project, but as someone worth protecting. Thank you for believing in me when no one else did. I wish you could see what your letter did.
Her tears fell freely, not from grief, but from a release so profound it felt like her grandfather's hand on her shoulder.
I am whole because of you. I'll spend my life making sure your name means something.
She walked back to the car, leaving behind a rose and a promise that the world would remember Charles Vance. 3 months later, Rachel pulled a cream envelope from her mailbox, the return address embossed with the university's seal.
The scholarship. This must be from the first recipient.
She opened it and read, "Dear Miss Vance, I am the first Charles Vance scholar. Your grandfather's gift means I can stay in school. I cried when I got the letter. Thank you forever."
All that pain, it turned into someone else's hope. Grandpa, this is what you meant.
Her tears fell onto the paper, smudging the ink, but the words only became clearer.
You are welcome, and thank you for reminding me why I fought.
She sat motionless, the aftertaste of vindication finally sweet, not bitter.
I'll never meet her, but she'll carry his name forward. That's enough.
She looked up at the framed letter on the wall. Its quiet authority now extended far beyond this room. Charles Vance's love had not only reclaimed a stolen future, it had seeded another. That evening, Rachel sat in her favorite chair, the framed letter catching the last light of dusk.
A year ago, I was drowning in debt and secrets. Now I am sitting in a room that feels like my own.
The glass over the letter reflected her face, blending her image with the faded ink.
I used to think fighting them would break me, but it remade me.
She traced the frame's edge with a finger, the wood warm like her grandfather's hand.
No bitterness left, just a clean quiet.
She thought of her mother and brother not with anger, but with the distance of healing.
I am not the daughter who was robbed. I am the woman who demanded it back and used it to build something.
The room held the peace she had earned, brick by legal brick. No one could take it now.
Whatever comes next, I am ready. He made sure of that.
3 weeks later, Michael stood on Rachel's doorstep, his hand raised but not yet knocking. He had lost the restaurant, the money, and the easy confidence. When she opened the door, his eyes were red, but his shoulders were straight. She didn't speak first.
I am not here to ask for anything. I just need you to know that I am sorry. Really sorry.
He's never said that before. Not like this.
For taking your money. For believing I deserved it more. For letting Mom believe it too.
He didn't look away. The silence that followed wasn't heavy. It was open.
I appreciate you saying that. It doesn't undo the 13 years, but it's a start. If you want to rebuild something, it's on you to prove it. One day at a time.
I know. I'll try.
He walked away without pleading or bargaining. Rachel watched until he disappeared, then closed the door softly. The next morning, Rachel woke before the alarm. Light streamed through the window, catching the glass of the framed letter. She made coffee and stood before the wall. Her father's words now a permanent fixture of her home.
He prepared for a worst case. I never imagined. And it happened. But so did his answer.
She didn't need to reread the words anymore. She carried them inside her chest.
I am no longer the woman who was stolen from. Now I am the one who reclaimed it all.
She thought of Michael, of her mother, and the dinner that had detonated everything. The sting was gone.
I can't control what they do next, but I know exactly who I am. Thank you, Grandpa, for everything.
The letter didn't reply. It didn't need to. The room was full of its answer. The day stretched ahead, unwritten but no longer haunted. The sun climbed higher, filling the room with a quiet that Rachel had finally earned. She didn't move. The stillness felt like the period at the end of a long sentence. Her grandfather's handwriting held the frame, as if it had always been there. It was the truest inheritance he could have left. Not just money, but the certainty that she mattered. The camera slowly drew back, taking in the entire wall. The letter centered like a window. Rachel stood beside it, small in the frame, but unshakable. Then she walked out of frame, leaving only the letter and the morning light. The glass caught the sun and held it. A promise written in ink and honored in court. The screen dimmed, the image of her serene face lingering for a last silent measure, and then softly to black.